Okay. So let's go to the goal of life. Any questions in page number 24, 25?
Brother, can you give small explanation about Anubhava Shakti?
Anubhava Shakti is one thing that you get with experience. When we observe our experience over a period of time, utilizing that experience, we gradually develop intuition. What is intuition? Intuition is nothing but the modification of the intellect into the viveka, and then viveka getting further modified into intuition. So it's in the same line. So the buddhi or the intellect gets refined, then it gradually metamorphoses into discriminatory intelligence or viveka. Viveka means discriminatory intelligence. Then further it goes on getting even further more refined. Then we develop intuition. Now sometimes people include this discriminatory intelligence, the viveka, also as part of the intuition. But that is not correct. If you read Lalaji's fourth volume, he talks about these three things. So you have intelligence, the individual intelligence, the Buddhi Shakti. But the Buddhi Shakti gradually with experience, awareness and experience. So that's why I keep talking about uh, peace. PEAS. You remember peace? PEAS means practice with awareness, practice to experience with awareness and sensitivity. Practice to experience, but that practice and to experience should be with awareness and sensitivity. Now, when we practice with awareness and sensitivity, utilizing the experience, we develop the intuition. Now, if you practice without any awareness or sensitivity, the developing the intuitional capacity is not going to occur. So that's why Daji also emphasizes in the first few chapters of the spiritual anatomy the importance of self-awareness. The more self-aware you are, so awareness is a very, very important tool that we utilize in our journey. Now, I'll leave it to your discretion. Where does awareness belong to? Does it belong to the soul? Does it belong to the consciousness? Does it belong to the mind? These are the three things
Consciousness.
that is belong to. So, brother is saying consciousness. Anybody else has any other answer? I've given you three options. And according to Vijay Kumar's brother's report, at least some people should be there to answer some of these things. So I should have a distribution of answer. One is consciousness, other one is the soul, and third one is the mind. So where does the awareness belong to? Which realm does the awareness belong to? And what is the relationship between awareness and consciousness? If you have read Heartfulness Way very clearly, Daji mentions it in one line, the relationship between consciousness and awareness. It is there in the Heartfulness Way. Okay? Anyway, brother said consciousness. What is consciousness and what is the relationship between consciousness and the soul?
As the soul gets purified, the consciousness will increase.
Just rethink about it.
A-
We are
As we lose,
asking,
as we
yeah,
lose our samskaras, our consciousness will increase.
expand. Will expand.
Will
It does
expand.
not
Yes.
increase, it expands.
Yes.
But still does not answer the question about what is the relationship between soul and consciousness. What you said is correct. But this question, of course, this will not come for exam, so don't worry. You will have enough time in your life to ponder on this question. What is the relationship between soul and consciousness? It's not an examination question, but it's a question that you have to work out in due course of time. See, many of the questions that I'm asking you is not for the sake of examination. It is for the sake of, see, if you have the right question to ponder on, right things will blossom in your heart. as answers. If the question itself is not right, then what happens is the right things will not ponder. You will not ponder on the right things, you will not get the right perspective or the answers. So these are very fundamental questions. Relationship between the soul and the consciousness, relationship between consciousness and awareness. Where does awareness exist? These are all very fundamental questions, but not necessarily from the examination perspective. So let's come back to the point now. We have to go through the examination. After that, we will all sit and ponder on all these things. Vijay Kumar brother also will join. Okay. Anyway, I'll just go through that first page. It does not really end with, life does not really end with death, but it's only a change of form. That can come as a question. Death is a change of form. The cycle of birth and death continues indefinitely. What is the problem before us? It is not to find a solution of our present life, but all lives that we have may henceforth have. So that's the problem that we are actually trying to address. In other words, it covered the entire existence of soul in various forms, gross or subtle at different times till the time of Mahapralaya. Then the next question, the question ends when one acquires Anubhava Shakti of the finest type and can himself realize the true state of life hereafter. Anyway, there are 5 stages in which life manifests. That we'll discuss about it some other time. 5 stages. Okay. The object of life is to achieve eternal. Many of the people think that the object of life is to achieve eternal bliss after death. For this, they insist on a life of virtue, sacrifice, and devotion. Our existence in the present grossest form is neither sudden nor accidental. It's a result of slow process of evolution. So the existence of the soul can be traced out as far as back to the time of creation, when the soul existence in its naked form as a separate entity. From that state, we have actually become marched on from a subtler state to a grosser and grosser state. The earliest coverings, now this is what I was telling earlier on, the earliest coverings were of the finest nature, and with them we existed in our homeland, the realm of God. For the realm of God, we were there with the fine coverings. After we actually went out of the realm of the God, we started developing grosser coverings. The addition of more and more coverings of ego continued, and subsequently Manas, Chitta, and Buddhi and Ahankar in crude form began to contribute to our grossness. Then he explains, this particular paragraph is an explanation about how we actually end up forming samskaras. Okay. Then he talks about the right perspective of the pains and the miseries. We forget that the pains and miseries are only the symptoms of the disease, but the disease lies elsewhere. The problem before us is not mere deliverance from pain and misery, but freedom from bondage, which is the ultimate cause of pain and misery. Freedom from bondage is called as liberation. Now he differentiates between liberation and salvation. Salvation is only a temporary pause in the process of life and death, temporary suspension. Liberation is permanent. The endless cycle of rebirth ends only when we have secured liberation. It is the end of our pains and miseries. There are people who say that they don't want mukti or liberation. They only want to come here again and again into this world and practice bhakti or devotion. So this is one of the questions. Can the goal of life be bhakti? The answer is no. Bhakti is a means for achieving the goal, but not the goal itself. So this can come as a 1 mark question for you. And many people who do not have the right concept of the clarity on the concept will probably err in that particular question. So bhakti is only a means to the goal, not the goal itself. So bhakta has their goal of life undetermined and indefinite. Bhakti itself is their goal. Really speaking, they are attracted to the charming effects of the bhakti and like to remain entangled in it forever. They do so only to please themselves. And Mirabai writes about it in complete work, in the 44 Whispers. Mirabai addresses Babuji and says, see, I took the path of bhakti, the devotion. I've got my liberation. You took the path of Raja Yoga, not only you got liberation, you got the ability to liberate others. That's the differentiation that Mirabai makes. So if somebody wants to have liberation, they can follow any path. Path of knowledge, bhakti, or karma, or even Raja Yoga. All the four can lead to liberation. But if you want to get into the state where you have the capability to give liberation to others, that is only possible through Raja Yoga, not in the other path. Okay? The natural yearning of the soul is to be free from bondage. ಆಯ್ತು ಆ ಪೇಜ್ ಆಯ್ತು. Now this paragraph in the 28th page number, Babuji is clearly differentiating between people having lack of clarity on nishkama karma. Another fallacious argument advanced in support of the above view is that devotion, if practiced without any particular object in view, is far from being nishkama karma, desireless. The theory of nishkama upasana, as laid down in the Gita, emphasizes upon us to practice devotion without keeping in view any specific purpose. That is the nishkama karma. However, it really means that we should not practice devotion without our eyes being fixed on any worldly object or without caring for the satisfaction of our desires. That is what it means. Nishkama karma means we should not be entangled to worldly objects or for the fulfillment of a desire. It does not stop us from fixing our mind upon the goal of life, which is absolutely essential for those on the march. So, since people emphasize on Nishkama karma, they say that you should not have a goal of life itself. So, for that, I'll normally ask this question. When you go out of the house, have you ever gone out of the house without any goal? Any day? Even as simple activity as just going out of the house, we always have a goal. I might go for a walk, I might go to the market, I might go to the bank, I might go to the office, I might go just have a chat with the neighbor, whatever it is. But I have a plan in mind when I go out. I have a goal in mind. Without that goal, we cannot actually do anything. And when people say that you should be goalless, they have understood that whole concept wrongly. When they say that you should not have goal, what they mean is that you should not have the fulfillment of the desire as a goal or a worldly object as a goal. That's all it means. That doesn't mean to say you should not fix a goal to life itself. Got the point? Now that's a very subtle point. Most of the people miss that. The goal of life means nothing but the point we have to finally arrive at. In other words, the reminiscence of our homeland, the primal state of our present solid existence. For that we practice, it is only the idea of destination which keeps us alive in our mind, and for that we practice devotion only as a duty. So devotion is a duty. Devotion itself is not the goal. Duty for duty's sake is without doubt nishkama karma, and to realize our goal of life is our bounden duty. Now please underline that. Duty for duty's sake is nishkama karma, but to realize our goal of life is our bounden duty. And Daji explains that the soul's wish to re-establish its connection with the Supreme Soul is not a desire in that way. Because every other desires in this worldly life add samskaras. That one desire of the soul actually removes all the samskaras. If you fulfill that one desire, every other desire is fulfilled automatically. You got the point? That one desire removes all samskaras. All other samskaras here go on adding more samskaras. Now, how can you call the same thing as desire? One, we said that desire of the soul is removing all the samskaras. And the desire in the worldly level is going to add samskaras. Now, you cannot call the thing as both as desire only. One is adding samskaras, other one is remove samskaras. You have to call it separately. So that's why Babuji says that desire of the goal, soul to establish connection with the Supreme Soul is a duty. It's not a desire. Although Daji uses the word big desire. In Heartfulness way, he writes about the big desire or the great desire. But that great desire consumes in it every other desire that we have got. Okay. ಸೊ ಬ್ರದರ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ, ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿದೆಯಾ ಅಥವಾ ನೀವು ಬರೀ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀರಾ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ?
We'll send the questions later.
ಓಕೆ. ಸುಸ್ತಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಅಲ್ಲ, ಸುಸ್ತಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಪಾಪ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. We will continue. You can formulate the questions and send them later on. No problem.
I'll do it.
Okay, please do that. Because I don't know, we might take another 15-20 minutes. So you can take rest, no problem.
Okay.
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 I'll not allow them to go to sleep. So don't worry. If you are going to be with me also, you will also not sleep.
No problem.
Even we are not ready to go to the bed until you complete, sir.
Anyway, there is another 2-3 passages in the chapter, so let us complete that.
No problem. No, brother, you can take rest. No problem. Exactly. We'll finish this chapter. It's a pretty small chapter only. Now I come to the point, what is the real goal of life should be? It should be the highest and the clear idea of the highest possible limit of the human life. Then he talks about the avatars. What is an avatar? Rama, Krishna are worshipped. Automatically that becomes the goal of life because we think avatars are very high. Automatically that becomes the goal of life. We can attain at the utmost secure approach up to their level. So wherever the avatars have come from, to that level we can secure our approach. We spoke about it yesterday in the context of the God and the context of the Guru also. The same thing applies to avatars also. Now where have avatars come from? They have come from the region of the Mahamaya. So if we were to take the avatars as our destination, we will only go up to the levels of Mahamaya. We are not going to go to the center. Now there are 4 levels of Maya. Okay. The Pinda Pradesh is the gross Maya. Then 6 to 10 point is the subtle Maya. Then 11 to 13 is the Mahamaya. Then near the center is the Adi Maya. So there are 4 levels. Normally when we use the word Maya, no, we only mean the Pinda Pradesh. But there are other realms of Maya also. So the gross Maya, the subtle Maya, the Mahamaya and the Adi Maya. Okay, it's easy to remember Maya, Maya, Maya. Until unless you Maya the Maya. Okay. Now it is there with Babuji's books only in different places. So I've just kind of put it in one sequence, easier to remember. That's all. Now Rama and Krishna as incarnations were special personalities vested with supernatural powers to work as a medium for the accomplishment of the work of nature. This is something that you have to underline. They came endowed with powers. For what purpose? To accomplish the work of nature as a medium. Okay. They had full command over the various powers of nature and could utilize them at any time in the way that they thought proper. The scope of their activities was limited in accordance with the nature of the work they had to accomplish. So they did not have the freedom to do whatever they wanted. They had only the freedom to do utilizing the powers that nature has given to do the work that nature wanted them to do. Nothing else. Nothing. They could not do anything beyond that. They descended from the sphere of the Mahamaya, which is the state of godly energy in the subtle form, hence the most powerful. It is due to this that we find excellent results coming into effect through their agency in their lifetime. The highest possible point of human approach is much beyond the sphere of Mahamaya. So we have to cross the Mahamaya, enter into the central region, go to the level of the Adi Maya and cross that also. That is when we reach our goal. Hence a great deal above that level. It may be surprising to most of the readers, but it's a fact beyond doubt. So Babuji is kind of clearly saying that you have to go far ahead of Mahamaya. Okay. First he said you have to go far ahead of liberation. Now he is saying you have to go far ahead of Mahamaya. Okay. The final point, now this is the answer to the goal. The next page, 30th page number. The final point of approach is where every kind of force, power, activity, and even stimulus disappears, and a man enters a state of complete negation, nothingness, or zero. That is the answer, the final state. This is the highest point of approach or the final goal of life. Okay. And then he discussed about the diagram there in the next page. Just keep that in mind. So there are 5 rings of Maya, then the 5 Stages of Maya, the 5 circles, and then 11 rings of or the circles of egoism, then the 5 rings of the 7 rings of splendor, and then the center. Okay, so in total 23. If I speak liberation, people will think it is a very far off thing. In the diagram, the state of liberation lies between the second and the third circle. This is an examination question. Where does the liberation lie between second and third circle? The various conditions that we have to pass through in order to secure liberation are all acquired within about 1.5 circle. Okay. After achieving this state, we go on further crossing other circles till we reach the 5th one. This is the stage of the Avyakta Gati. Once we cross the state of the 5th one, we enter into a state of Avyakta Gati. Vyakta means manifest. Avyakta means unmanifest. Unmanifest state or undifferentiated state. That's a different word for that. Unmanifest or undifferentiated. If it's differentiated, it manifests. If it's undifferentiated, it's not yet manifest. At this stage, which is after the 5th point, a man is totally free from the bounds of Maya. In other words, here Babuji is talking about the gross Maya. You have crossed the realm of the gross Maya. Very few of the sages have passed, could reach up to this position. Raja Janak was one of them, who could secure his approach to this state. His achievements were considered so great that even the prominent rishis of that time used to send their sons and disciples to him for training. So Raja Janak had crossed the 5th point, that's all, nothing more than that. The region of the heart described in my book Efficacy of the Raja Yoga is now crossed, and now we enter into the mind region after crossing the 5th circle. The 11 circles after this depict the various stages of egoism. And that the egoism goes on getting more subtle as we proceed further. Up to the 16th circle, we almost become free of the egoism. And Babuji, according to his reading, only Kabir could reach up to the 16th circle. What remains when you have crossed this circle also is mere identity, still in the gross form. Identity is there. So when we enter into the central region, what we have is a gross identity. Now we enter the central region. There too you find 7 rings of something, and Babuji is called as light. At the entry of the central region, we have a dense identity. As we progress through the central region, we refine that identity also. The denseness goes, the grossness goes, it becomes a refined identity. It becomes finer and subtler to the last possible limit. We have now secured a approach position which is nearmost to the center, and it's the highest possible approach of man. You go near the center. You cannot enter the center. You go near the center and you establish a connection there. You start absorbing the nature of the center into yourself. That's all that happens. There we are in close harmony with a very real condition. Complete merging. Now this is important. Complete merging with the center is, however, not possible, so as to maintain a nominal difference between God and soul. Okay, so complete mergence is not possible at that stage. However, we do absorb the essence of the ultimate. We cannot merge into the ultimate itself, but we absorb the essence of the ultimate. Okay. Such is the
both are the
achievement.
sir, brother. That means both are.
1 minute. We'll finish this paragraph. We'll go come back later. After that, we will allow our Kidney brother to go to sleep. Such is the extent of human achievement which a man should fix his eyes upon from the very beginning, if he wants to make the greatest progress on the path of realization. Very few saints and yogis of the past ever had any conception of it. Their farthest approach in most cases have been up to the 2nd or the 3rd circle at the Asmot, and it is unfortunate that even at this preliminary stage, they sometimes consider their achievement to be very great. So now he just says why he has given all this expansion. Okay, now go to the question. Unmute yourself.
That means not merging with center means we are getting that forming both are similar. One end of God and soul are the same similarities.
1 minute. So I think he's actually said the questions there.
And,
Probably you can share those
the
questions.
process, we will add some more questions. That is why
Yeah.
I was saying will share it later.
No problem. And you can make it slightly a bit more complicated. Because they are not going to have all straightforward questions. Although I have requested the examination team to give only straightforward questions. We had this discussion last week. So I told them, if you go on giving confused questions, everyone will get confused. Do you want confused people in the system, or you want people who are ready for
Okay.
perception? What are you trying to create? So they have taken up seriously whatever we told. They said they are going to discuss. So I'm hoping that in the next examination, the questions will be more straightforward than last time. Okay. Anyway, what is the question, brother?
That it is not merging with the soul, and God and soul is not merging. It is only nearer to them. Means
Exactly.
both is having same similarities. One, if we see the God, soul is the same. If we see the soul, God is the same. Because we are getting all the things from Him, no?
Even when the soul was away from the Supreme Soul, it had all the qualities of the center only.
Okay, okay.
It never lost the qualities of the center. See, if I just give you a very simple example, there is a fire and spark come out of fire. Okay. Initially, when the spark is formed, the spark is very close alignment with the fire. Right? Now, after some time, the spark moves away from the fire. Now, if you take the fire and spark, both have the same quality. Both has light, both has heat. There's no difference whatsoever. It's only in the degree. Now, suppose if I go on, what do you say, blowing the spark, what will happen to it? It will become the fire again. How does it become the fire again? Because it has the same quality of the fire. No difference. So when we blow it, we actually become the fire again. So when you go to the center and establish the connection with the center, so to say, you almost become like the fire.
Both are one and the same, though there is a gap, difference.
Exactly. It is just that in the way that we physically think of merger, no, that physical merger is not possible. That's all. But they both come in such a close alignment that you cannot, except for nominal difference, you cannot differentiate between the two. Okay. So that's the final approach. So this is a confusing question that they'll ask. Complete mergence is the final goal. And the answer is there. Complete mergence is not possible. Okay. And quite a few people lose marks there. Because in general, they say Layavastha, so complete mergence with the center also Layavastha. That doesn't occur. Okay. Layavastha with all the conditions will happen. But Layavastha with the center will not happen. Alignment will occur. Nominal difference is maintained. Okay. Okay, pa. Sari hagare. We will catch up with from the next chapter tomorrow. Tomorrow evening at the same time between 7 and 8. Sorry, tomorrow between 6:30 and 7:30.
Yeah.
Vijay Kumar is raising his eyebrows. Suddenly I got the idea. So tomorrow it will be 6:30 to 7:30. Please remember.
Can we go
Okay.
to around 6?
Can we go?